Continuing our coverage tonight, we are taking a more in-depth look at the problems between AMR and the city of Colorado Springs amidst the city's contract negotiations with a different ambulance company.
The city released hundreds of pages of information to News 5, and after going through them, it seems AMR's response rate isn't the issue. News 5's Laura Wilson in studio following up on her initial report tonight.
Yes, if you recall last week, AMR told News 5 they had exceeded the response rate required by the city, which is 92% for all of 2017. Now, after going through a year's worth of compliance reports, we found that to be true for emergency calls. Now, you see the numbers are a little bit different for the non-emergency calls. We honed in here in April just below 92%, so AMR was fined for that month. So while this doesn't appear to be an issue, emails reveal there were other problems between the city and AMR last year. New information released to News 5 shows AMR was at risk of having its contract terminated last year after exceeding its fine limit for what's called failure to respond.
What that refers to is you have to have an ambulance assigned to a call within 10 minutes. So, during a period last year, we had some technology issues in the comm center.
Fines become increasingly expensive based on how many failure to respond incidents occur in a month and how many consecutive months fines are accumulated. But the contract allows the city to terminate its agreement if AMR reaches a $5,000 liquidated damage threshold, which the ambulance company hit back in May. And in June, they were fined $30,000, prompting the fire department to send a letter telling AMR to fix the problem immediately or lose the contract.
Things were fixed quite quickly, within 30 days with the technology piece that we had to get in. We've had positive results for the last 6 or 8 months in that area.
In the 6 months that followed, AMR was fined an unspecified amount for 3 failure to respond calls, though 2 of those came in October when the system was down.
I'm going to get someone in route.
But emails from 2017 also detail what CSFD described as a trust issue. Last March, an ambulance contract administrator questioned why AMR was releasing so many calls to mutual aid partners, pointing out they were on track to hit the highest number of released calls that month since the start of their contract. AMR saying it was a staffing issue.
Within the contract, it allows for mutual aid agreements. That period of time, we've been talking about the system design and the money that goes into the system where we've had to take resources off the street. So these were busy times where you get caught in that.
AMR hit historically high release numbers between April and September before seeing a significant drop-off for the remainder of 2017. They say the year ended on a high note with at least a 95% compliance rate for the last 3 months of the year. Fire Chief Ted Colas even writing them a letter of recommendation back in November.
In that letter, he did indicate there was some performance issues related back to the dispatch piece, as we talked about, but we also had met our performance goals as set out in the contract.
And the Colorado Springs Fire Department declined to comment because the city is in the middle of contract negotiations with another ambulance company, Priority Ambulance. And despite that, AMR says they'll continue to fight for that contract. Watching out for you, Colorado Springs. Laura Wilson, News 5.